Why do all my favorite memories lead back to Christmas as a kid? And why does it hurt now? My family kept track of everything: pictures, videos, you name it. There's literally thousands of photos from all our Christmases combined. And when I went back and looked at the ones from 2012, it didn't feel the way I thought it would. It felt empty, like my brain remembered a whole world that doesn't exist anymore. I guess I don't remember a lot from when I was little. My memory is just kind of fuzzy with most things. But in those pictures, I looked so genuinely happy. Like there wasn't a single thing wrong in my entire life. And people always say stuff like, I used to be happier back then. I didn't know how good I had it, or I miss who I used to be. But why does it happen? Why can a good memory hurt worse than a bad one? When I think about being a little kid, the one thing that always stands out is Christmas morning. Waking up with my family and cousins, running to the tree piled with presents, and also that smell of cinnamon rolls drifting from the kitchen. It felt safe, warm. It was like nothing bad could happen. And now I look at those photos and it hits me that I'll never be that version of myself again. And maybe that's why it hurts. I try really, really hard to remember, but it usually just slips away. Never thought of it as something sad. But looking at it now, maybe it is. Maybe if I knew how much I'd forget, I would have held tighter. People always talk about nostalgia like it's special, but I think it's our brains just lying to us, cutting out all the bad stuff, so the past feels perfect even if it wasn't. I get it though. Times change, people grow apart, life happens. I think the reason change hurts so much is because people aren't ready for it. When my grandpa passed away around COVID, everything felt off. It was like Christmas was dulled down. Of course, you're happy to be with your family, but that excitement just wasn't there. This whole thing still matters to me a lot. And while I was scrolling online, I read that memory and emotion are tightly connected. The brain saves emotional moments in high detail, but the regular childhood memories fade out. And Christmas, at least for me, was always tied to strong feelings like family, love, excitement, comfort. So when you revisit those old memories, it hits you in a weird, bittersweet way. And honestly, it's okay to feel that way. Feeling that ache doesn't mean you're weak or stuck in the past. It just means those moments meant something to you. When things change, when people leave, or tradition fades, or life stops feeling the way it did when you were a kid, your brain and your heart, they both react. That sadness is your mind trying to make sense of the growing up process. It's your heart reminding you that you cared that those memories were real, that they shaped you. It's normal to miss a version of your life that felt safe and full and familiar. It's normal to feel the difference now. And it's okay, because feeling it doesn't take anything away from the present. If anything, it shows you how much you value the people and the moments that built you. And the more I think about it, the more I realize nostalgia hits different, depending on what you've lived through. I read something online that said nostalgia can be really confusing for people who went through rough stuff growing up. And honestly, that made everything make sense. Because sometimes those Christmas memories, they feel warm, but they also feel sharp. Like they hit a bruise you didn't know was still there. The article said nostalgia is kind of a double-edged sword. It can bring back the good memories, but sometimes those moments are wrapped around things you didn't understand back then. Stuff you were too young to see clearly. And I guess that's why some memories hurt more than they ever did before. Like, when you're little, you don't notice the chaos around you. You don't notice what your family was going through or how close things were to falling apart. You just remember the lights, the tree, the cinnamon rolls, the presents, the pieces that felt safe. When you get older, you start looking back with new eyes, and suddenly the past feels more complicated. You remember the good memories, but you also feel everything underneath them. That mix of comfort and loss. Of being happy back then, but also knowing you were too young to understand some of the pain that was happening behind the scenes. The article said that people sometimes idolize the past. Basically, your brain makes the old memories look perfect because you're trying to hold on to something that felt safe. And honestly, that's exactly what Christmas feels like for me. It was one of the times everything felt calm. The one time the world didn't feel so scary or confusing. So of course I want to go back. Of course my chest hurts when I look at old photos. My brain, it isn't just missing Christmas. It's missing the version of life where I felt protected. And the weirdest part is, even the good memories can trigger the sad ones. Like how the article said, certain places or sounds can take you back to stuff you didn't even realize affected you. Sometimes when I smell pine or hear a Christmas song that I remember playing when we were hanging the Christmas ornaments, I get this random heavy feeling in my stomach. Not because something bad happened, but because something good did. And I can't get it back. And for me, that's the hardest part of all of this. You can't recapture the past. You can't turn back into the kid who woke up excited on Christmas morning, no matter how much you miss them. But that doesn't mean you're broken for feeling this way. It just means you're stuck. It just means you had moments that mattered and moments you're allowed to miss. Nostalgia hurts because it reminds you of what you loved. It reminds you of who you were and who you'll never be again. But it also reminds you that those memories were real and that they shaped the person you're becoming. And maybe that's enough. When I think about Christmas, all the lights, the presents, and cinnamon rolls, it was all great. But none of that mattered as much as the people I spent it with. I miss my grandma. I miss my aunt. Being around them is what made Christmas feel real. It's what made it warm. It's what made it safe. What made it feel like I actually mattered. Without them, all the decorations and gifts, it's all just stuff. Funny thing is, yesterday I saw this reel online with nostalgic Christmas photos and the words saying, what Christmas felt like before your family fell apart. And I mean, yeah, that hit harder than expected, not because of the photos themselves, but because it reminded me that the thing about Christmas is that it's only special because the family and the people. And it hurts because it won't be exactly the same anymore. Even if the tree is up and the lights are on, it won't feel like it did when they were there. It made me realize something important. All the fun and excitement meant nothing without them. Family was the heart of it. The laughter, hugs, the opening presents, all of it. It's what made Christmas matter. And missing that, knowing it can't come back exactly the same, that's the part that really hurts. But that's okay. Maybe nostalgia isn't just about the past. Maybe it's about recognizing what mattered most. And holding on to that, even if nothing else changes. So the point is this. It's that nostalgia isn't just about remembering the past. It's feeling how it shaped you. It's the ache of realizing you can't go back. The mix of warmth and loss. And the understanding that life keeps moving. Those memories, they hurt because they mattered. And that's the lesson. The past stays with us, not as a place to return to, but as a part of who we are now. Understanding that, that's what makes the pain meaningful.